Jesus said in John 5, he said, "Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, but they are they which testify of me, and me you will not come to, that you might have life." You see, and he went on to say that those people that never came to him, they sought the honor of man, and not only and solely the honor of God. You see, this is the same thing that exists today. You know, we don't go to Jesus Christ for life. We go to the scriptures, and we've made the scriptures God. You know, the scriptures are a guideline which tell you about people's testimony, about who you need to go to. You see, Moses went to the mountain to receive of God. You see, Abraham received of God. You know, all the prophets received of God. They received revelations that changed their life. You see, but the problem was they were called crazy and lunatics and all kinds of things, because the majority of people were plugged into the world and the desires of the world. You see, so this is the big problem even today. You know, we have people that are filled with scriptures and head knowledge. Head knowledge is very, very dangerous, my friends, because it's the most rudimentary form of words or ideas, you see, because they have not been tested. So you have to allow your words to be tested for them to move from the mind to the heart, and to the heart's mind, you see. So this requires tests, just like you cooking food. You see, raw food is raw knowledge. You cannot eat it, you see. And before you cook, you have to clean the food. You have to, after cleaning, you season the food. After seasoning it, maybe you let it set for a while, I don't know, but then it's ready for the pan that's on the stove, and it's put into the fire. You see, now the majority of the trials and the tests are in the fire. You see, the majority of the cooking process is in the fire. You see, where your words are now, they are tested, and the impurities are removed, and life is given to them. You see, this is what we need to do. And then after that, you take them off the fire. Maybe you reduce the heat slowly for a while, let it simmer. Then you take it off the fire, you let it cool down. And then what? And then after that, after it's cooled to the point where you want it, then you take the food and you put it in a nice piece of nice plate, and you garnish and do all the things, and you present the food to the people to ready to eat. Now that presentation process is the talking, the part where you talk and start doing all this other stuff. You're not supposed to talk with raw food. You see, you're supposed to go through tests and trials that you may have experiences, you see, and gain wisdom. Experiences is associated with wisdom, you see, into how things really are. Now, let me use another example of worldly wisdom. You know, I'm a trainer in the gym, and I'm around a lot of people that do a lot of different kinds of talking about what system they use in the gym, and what kind of angles and all these kind of things that pro athletes use. And they are not pro athletes, you see. They're very, very far away from that. And unfortunately, because they are not pro athletes, they're not able to do those kind of things. So they do a lot of talking to compensate for that, and they always have injuries and all these other kind of things. And I watch them in the gym. They come for other reasons, you know. They come to watch guys or watch girls, and other things, and then they create all this other stuff in their minds, and then they go and tell you, I was in the gym for 2 hours, but 90 minutes of the 2 hours you spent socializing, talking about all the different things that you're doing, and you end up doing nothing. You see, so your words are just completely empty and filled with air. There's no substance in them. You see, there's no flavor, there's nothing, there's no life behind your words. Now, unfortunately, many people of the world, This is what the world has done to people to make merchandise of them. You see, you sell a book about Michael Jordan, and then all you do is buy the book, and you don't have to live the life that Michael Jordan did, and you don't have to train like Michael Jordan did, and you can become like Michael Jordan. And then you keep buying the books and then tell everybody what's in the book, and you act like that's you. So what you become is Michael Jordan on the outside, and on the inside you're a failure. You're a joke. You're empty. You have nothing on the inside. You see? And this is the big problem, because over time, what has happened, even in America, this is among the people of the world, and I'll come to the church after this. They have their heart has been layered with cement, and in this cement there's all kinds of synthetic cables, fiber optic cables, and all these other kind of electrical impulses that come from the world and present the voices of the world. You see, so you do something to somebody like this, they react, but it's not really their reaction, it's a running program, what they've been taught over time. You see, how has this happened? It's another story. It's a long story where families have been destroyed, the family structure, in order to make merchandise of people and fill a certain part of the soul that is meant for voices of close family, or people who are close to you, and they've replaced this by all the synthetic ideas, the system ideas of the way life should be run, or based on materialism and greed. You see, so this is how people are. And I see many families today, they go around with these cement in quotations microchips in their heart. Say, hey honey, hey dear, how are you doing? Hey, I'm doing good, honey. Then they kiss each other. Then the kids, it's like you have robots. They're just robots, and it's just become brains and biology and chemical reactions, and it's all red. It's all being programmed into them, and there's no understanding. There's no real desire, because it's not emanating from the heart. And then there's malfunctions from time to time. You see, because it's a synthetic system. You see, so you know that there's something wrong, but you can't quite put your finger on it, because then the system voices, they become louder, and all these other kind. You're not surrounded by the people that are even human, nowadays. And human love is very, very, very finite, but it's a lot more deeper than this mental process love. You see, so mental processes, this is what I'm trying to say to you, they have to go through things. You see, you cannot experience Jesus Christ in your life if you don't go through anything. If the words that you say you believe have not been tested, and you just leave it at a theoretical head knowledge level. You see, that's the whole problem. In the gym, you hear about people talking about, I used to bench this and I used to do that. Or in school, you hear about, well, this theory says this, and Karl Marx said that, and so and so, so and so said this, but they never made those words theirs. You see, how do you make those words theirs? Yours, by finding out who Karl Marx was, what influenced him. You see, if I'm a poet and I'm writing about the beach and the waves and I'm writing a poem on that, then what's my job as a poet? Is to give life to the words that I'm going to write. First of all, find out about what I'm writing. You see, so I go to the waves, I sit down, I see how the waves are ministering to me. I close my eyes, I let the sounds come, then I smell, I see this. And so after a time in a season of doing this every day, and my words now are being filled with a substance because of the ministry of this environment, you see, to me, of the waves, of the water. And this is just a natural thing, it's a finite, and then my words have power. But if I just sit down and I read someone else's description, and I just copy and paste that, and I don't know anything about the water, and I don't know anything, then those words are not mine, and they're synthetic, they're not real. You see, you have to make those words yours.